Folks, my name is Grant Smith. We have just reached the end of the day in the Dan Markel and Donna Adelson trial. And let me just tell you, first of all, folks, it was not a good day for two people. It was not a good day for Wendy Adelson. It was not a good day for Donna Adelson. Okay, Wendy Adelson, we had four witnesses today. I think it was Detective Issam, Wendy Adelson, who went way longer than anyone expected, then Rob Adelson, the estranged Adelson son, who destroyed Donna's case. It was very bad for Donna. We will talk about that in a second. And then fourth, we had a police witness who talked about Wendy going back to the scene of Dan Markel's murder, which Charlie blames for all of the Adelsons getting caught. Now, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. You can catch more coverage tomorrow, youtube.com/@GrantSmithEllis. But for today, let me tell you, the day started with an inspector or detective from the Florida law enforcement agency, one of them investigating the case, testifying about how Donna Adelson was going to be subpoenaed in the divorce case between Dan Markel and Wendy Adelson. Why is that important? And there's Harvey Adelson on the screen. These are live pictures during our recap. Why is that important, ladies and gentlemen? Because Donna Adelson was not only going to be subpoenaed, we're coming to the end of the day now, as we mid-recap, folks, mid-recap. Coming to the end of the day, mid-recap.
We're done for the day.
We're just holding it.
All right, folks, so you can see there, we're keeping the pictures up on the screen. We are done for the day. Donna Adelson was going to be deposed in the Dan Markel and Wendy Adelson divorce, but more so than that, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Markel had won a number of motions in that divorce case, including winning in a forum that did not allow Wendy Adelson to refile the motion on the custody issue of relocation of the children. We found out, ladies and gentlemen, that Wendy Adelson misled Donna Adelson about whether that final decision on relocation by the family court judge in the Markel and Wendy Adelson divorce was with prejudice or without prejudice. Wendy misrepresented that to Donna because the ruling was actually done in such a way where Wendy could not take it any further. It was a final ruling of the court, as Wendy testified to. But we also found out that Dan Markel, along with winning these rulings, was moving forward to a non-jury trial in the divorce matter. And along with the deposition, Dan Markel was going after Wendy Adelson's lawyer, and Dan Markel had evidence that Wendy Adelson was hiding assets from the court and from Dan Markel in the divorce trial. That was just one part of the explosive commentary, because it also Wendy slipped up, ladies and gentlemen, during her direct examination from Georgia, the prosecutor. Wendy said that she was informed by Detective Issam, before one of the detectives named Issam interviewed her, that Dan Markel was shot. But up until now, everyone involved in this had fully believed and felt that Wendy Adelson was not told that Dan Markel was shot until that detective or police officer, Issam, said as much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was just one of a number of bombshell revelations, because it continued. Folks, it continued, and as you can see, we're at the end of the court day. But let me show you how the Wendy Adelson cross, that was the direct, okay, from state prosecutors. Let me show you how the cross from Wendy's own mother, Donna, ladies and gentlemen, played out. I'm going to bring that up for you on the Towel X right now. Let me just show you. It was simply incredible scenes. You would not believe it, little towels, unless you saw it for yourself, okay? You would not believe it unless you saw it for yourself. So I'm going to play it for you right here. What an end, as I styled it, what an end to the Donna Adelson defense cross of Wendy Adelson. So I'm going to do that right now, little towels. I'm going to bring it up for you on your screen. That was a moment, and there were a lot of moments today, but let me just tell you, what you're about to see right now was a moment in time. All right, it was a moment for Wendy Adelson. It was a moment for towels. It was a moment for the Donna Adelson defense, where they basically threw Wendy Adelson under the bus. And no, I do not want to promote the post to reach 100,000 more users, but thank you very much for your generous offer. All right, so let's watch this right now, little towels. Let me get this off mute. All right, let me get the volume up. Let me full screen it for you. And this was how the Donna Adelson defense ended their cross-examination of Wendy Adelson. All right, let me bring it for you like this. All right, let's do this, and then roll it.
Adelson, you agree that when Danny Markel was murdered on June the 18th of 2014, your little boys lost their father for the rest of their life?
On the day that he was murdered was July 18th, and yes, my boys lost their father.
They're growing up as 11 years have passed without his influence in their life in any way. Isn't that correct?
I wouldn't say without his influence in any way, but yes, they've grown up without their father.
He's not here to give them advice.
He is not.
He can't come to any of their functions, sports, anything else.
Correct.
They're not eating kosher like they would have with their father.
They are not.
They don't have him at all.
They don't have him in their lives day to day, no.
Because on July the 18th of 2014, he was brutally murdered in his driveway. Isn't that true?
That is true.
And you testified on direct that anybody in your family that had anything to do with it was responsible. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And that includes you, doesn't it?
Anyone who's responsible.
How's that, folks? How it was glorious, says Colleen Henry. Now, that wasn't even the end, because then Rob Adelson, the estranged son of Donna Adelson, got up in the stand and said that he cooperated with the FBI, that after he did so, Donna, through an intermediary, tried to tell Rob Adelson not to do so. Then when Rob Adelson told Donna that he already cooperated, Donna said, well, you don't know anything anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, it was shocker after shocker after shocker in today's Donna Adelson trial. And then, at that point, Rob Adelson said that the last ever contact he had with his family was he reached out to them, or they reached out to him on his anniversary 2 days after the first arrest related to Dan's death, and no one in his family brought up Dan's murder at all. And apparently, Wendy Adelson did not even bring Dan Markel's children to his funeral. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a horrific day in so many ways, but it was also bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. I will continue to provide coverage for you. Wendy had some moments there where she may have exposed herself. Will she be indicted, folks? Will Wendy Adelson be indicted for the conspiracy to murder Dan Markel? That is the question of the hour. Now, a lot of people voted on the towel poll as I wrap up this wrap-up, because I have to get back to broadcast with you again tomorrow. We'll be here in the morning. Towel has other obligations. I thought it was today. It's tomorrow. There's a court hearing I have to cover for the pool feed for. Now, we had a vote. How many lies did Wendy Adelson tell on the stand? 57% of you said she speaks, she lies. 19% of you said 4 to 6. 11% of you said 1 to 3. 11% of you said 7 to 10. I think that's pretty accurate in our unscientific towel poll. Now, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. This was a wrap-up of a hell of a day in the Donna Adelson case. We will be back for more coverage, as I mentioned, tomorrow after 8 a.m., youtube.com/@GrantSmithEllis. For another day. The state's case should take 5 to 6 more days. We went a little bit long on Wendy Adelson's testimony today for a good reason. You'll hear a lot more about this, a lot more analysis coming up. Thanks again, youtube.com/@GrantSmithEllis. I appreciate you being with me. By the way, look at this, folks. Look at this. I just want to say hello to the Towel friends on the Towel X. Almost 7,000 of you. All right, that is no small feat, ladies and gentlemen. That is no small feat. We see some folks doing their very best, fighting hard, all right? So hold on, let me go over to the other screen here. We see some folks doing their very best, fighting hard, little towels. But the reality is almost 7,000 of you over on the Towel X, ladies and gentlemen. And compared to some of the other channels, we have done very well, in my opinion. All right, some people fought hard, did their very best, all right? But it is Towel Channel that has competed all day with the likes of Al Jazeera and such, and we have done our best. And my name is Grant Smith Ellis, and I appreciate all of your support for this public information service, which is inform and entertain the public, such as to engender cogent public discourse and ward off the usurpation of our representative forms of government worldwide. And if you want to support that kind of thing, look, there's a Venmo logo on the screen. Lots of ways to support Towel's public information service and keep me alive and fed. God bless all of you. I'm going to go back to talking to the Towel friends now and end this recap.